Is there anybody who would like to volunteer just to see if you have a heart wall? And then if so, just to get started to release a few emotions first. And if not, that's fine.
I'll do it.
Let me know you're there. Say hello.
Hello.
Okay, good.
Hello?
Make sure you can still hear me. Yeah, my phone just totally went out.
Shirley is still here.
Okay, good. Okay, so I wanted to let you know I'm a holistic healing and health counselor. And so what I do is basically help people to move. I help people by moving, clearing heart walls, releasing old trapped emotional energy, and doing things to let go of the past traumas that prevent you from healing and moving forward in your life. And thus, what do you get into? A peaceful state. And what can happen from that is the body heals from disease, you feel more peace, and move through life with greater ease. Those are some of the testaments my clients, as they say, their life flows just a whole lot better. So that's why I'm just really excited about this call and getting into personal peace, because one of the major things that could really help, with anything, if you personally release your own heart wall, to me, I expand on ideas. So when I think of an individual experiencing peace, then to me, that's potential for the whole world to experience peace. There was an experiment that was done called the Maharishi. I think that's what it was called, experiment, where they had all these different people who were regular meditators, to just hold that peaceful space. And they actually did an experiment where they had just a few group of people in an area to hold a specific space and peace and meditate. And it decreased in was it a country? It was like a whole landmass. It decreased violence, crime, the hospitals, the people there, the patients, as far as their health and how they felt. All of that improved, and it's documented. All of that improved just from holding these few people holding a peaceful space. That's it happens. We have that much of an effect on the space. Okay, so go back. Nobody wants to see if they have a heart wall this is time.
No, I volunteered, but then you got disconnected.
Oh, okay. Okay, you volunteered. Okay. So just like I was saying, we have an effect on each other. I think, just we can feel each other's presence and everything. And that sway test that actually takes place where you can communicate with your body, right? When you hold that thought, when you have a thought of somebody else and you're testing, you can test through something that's called a proxy. So what I do is I can actually hold a space of you in my mind, and I can test you by proxy, which means that I'm testing using my body but thinking of you, and the answers that I get are the answers from your body. And so I can test you to see if you have a heart wall, and then I can also test to see if you have emotions and what those emotions are. Now, as we do this, keep this in mind, that we're going to bring up some emotions, and sometimes emotions want to express themselves, meaning that they just want the memory to come up to the conscious mind, and we might need to know more information. A lot of times we don't. We do not have to get into your business. If there's something that you don't want to share, you don't have to. And all I can say is that if you hold that thought, I can test to see if that's what it is that you need to know, and then we can clear it. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me test you. And this is Keisha?
Yes.
Who wants their heart wall removed? Who's speaking? All right.
Keisha.
Okay, hi, Keisha. Okay, so hold on. So
hey.
Tune in. Okay. So, Keisha. Okay. So what has happened with you, Keisha? There's two different types of way that you can test for a heart wall. One is just heart wall. But sometimes you can have something that's called a hidden heart wall. What is it? Same thing. It's a heart wall. It just had to come up using the word hidden. We can have hidden emotions. They're just hiding a little bit deeper. There's hidden emotions, hidden, just things hidden in the body. So it's released the same way a regular heart will would be released. So you have a hidden heart wall. And I just want to see what emotions are causing this heart wall. So I want to find out Now, I'm going to ask some questions, but I'm not necessarily talking to you for you to respond, but this is just me kind of communicating, like we did kind of with the stress test, but I'm communicating with your body. So I want to know, with your heart wall, what emotions have made up this wall?
I think you're breaking up. I'm having a little trouble hearing the last part.
Okay, so I like to get permission. So let's just see, can we release an emotion from your heart wall? And if I think of that question, I get a yes. And I want to see what those emotions are. So let's see what the first emotion is.
Okay.
And what I'm doing is, I'm looking at a chart of emotions and testing through this chart. Remember, I was talking about information, any information, you can think of it, and your body responds to it. Well, I've learned a method of testing called biokinetic testing, where I can kind of tune into your body and see what imbalances are there, or if there's emotions or trapped emotions, to specifically know where they are. And I just kind of use this method of testing with charts and stuff, along with my own intuition, because sometimes, answers will come in to reveal what's going on. But so the first emotion that's there is pride. Okay. Let's see. Do we need to know more about this? It's the emotion of pride. And so let me tell you where this. Let's see. Do we need to know more about this emotion? Yes. So I'm going to tell you when this first became trapped. Okay. So let's see what age. Do you mind telling me how old you are?
I am 40. I forget sometimes. 42.
Okay. So let's see. Okay, is this emotion before age 20?
I'm sorry?
Hold on. I'm testing to find out which age you actually got this emotion. So just hold on just a minute. Let's see. Okay, so it's around age 37. Now, I could be a year off. It could be 36, 37, or 38. Okay? So what I want you to do, I don't know if that brings up anything for you. Now, I do things in the order that the body will allow us to do. Your body knows what it wants to bring up and at what time. Okay, now, this is the one that comes up. Now, that doesn't mean that pride is not going to come up again. If an emotion shows up twice, it's not the same emotion, because we can feel angry at different points in our life. Some anger, we go ahead and move on. Other anger, we keep it stuck in our body. So, but this particular emotion is something from around age 37. Okay, do we need to know more about that? No. So I don't know if that resonates or rings a bell with you, but we're just going to go ahead and clear that now. Now, keep in mind, we're dealing with your heart. So a lot of the emotions that you find in your heart, when you have these emotions, what it's doing is it's got its vibrational frequency. It's got this energy that is just resonating in your body. And so it's playing a part in your life, right? So you'll see it kind of passes up or get triggered at certain events. It might be something that you experience a lot of in your life. I'm just going to clear that out. And let's see, did we? Okay, yes. I want to see, do you still have a heart? Yes, you still do. And can we release another trapped emotion from it right now? And we can.
Yes.
Okay. So the next emotion is an emotion of shame.
Say it again.
Shame. Just feeling shame.
That's what I thought you were going to say the first time.
Okay. And we don't have to know any more about that. But these are things that you're obviously tuning in to certain, you can get that. It resonates with you. Okay. So we don't have to know anything about that. We'll go ahead and clear it. So let me see. I have to sometimes wait a minute to let your body. Sometimes it takes a moment for the body to kind of process those emotions because your body is changing right now. When you release them, it's shifting. Okay, let's see. We have another chapter function. Okay. So right now I'm getting that you don't have it. So we just released that hidden heart wall. Okay? So now what I want you to do is just kind of pay attention to your life as you're kind of moving along. And any changes that you notice, positive shifts, positive changes, send me a message about it. Now, is there anything that you might have experienced right now just in the moment that you can share? And if not, that's fine.
Well, I did feel a little bit of like a release around in my chest area as you were doing the work. And I got a little teary-eyed. And so some emotions did come up, and actually the issue that I thought it was not what I thought it was. I actually got another vision of where both the pride and the shame were coming from.
Okay. So as you go along, it's not uncommon for you to experience a few emotional ups and downs. That doesn't mean you have to claim that and actually experience that, but if that does happen, you'll know why. And you need to drink water, and if you need to rest is needed. And that's kind of what this placement is doing the emotional work, because your body's shifting and changing with that. So just pay attention to your, well, let me give you some examples so that y'all will know what I'm talking about. Okay. So I had a client who actually had some issues with her daughter and granddaughter, and she would go visit them. And every time she visited them, she felt like they were always, it was just very uncomfortable. They didn't really have a good relationship. They were always talking about her or putting her down. She just wasn't in a really good space with them. I didn't talk to the daughter, nor did I talk to the granddaughter. I only worked with her. And we cleared her heart wall. The next time she visited them, she said that had never happened. They had a great time. The conversation was completely different than what they normally have. All of that used to happen didn't even happen. Something completely shifted and changed that relationship, the whole dynamic of that relationship, into something positive. That's from an emotional standpoint and how it has an effect on emotions. Pain. I had a client to call who actually was experiencing chest pain so severe that obviously it probably felt like a heart attack, because this person had experienced this for years. And he would have to go to the emergency room because the pain was so severe. But when he'd go to the emergency room, they couldn't find anything. So they would just give him some painkillers and send him back home. So he gave me a call, and we cleared his heart wall. And it was a pattern that came. So in this pattern, when he first called, it was just for a consultation to see if he wanted to do the service. And that night, he ended up having to go to the emergency room. We didn't have a session at that point. The next time I talked to him, we did have a session. And after that, I was curious to know if he had to go to the emergency room, the night that we had the session, because that is what the pattern normally would have ended up. He would have ended up in the emergency room. He didn't have to go to the emergency room. The pain in his chest, he did not experience. Not only was it the pain in his chest, there was a pain in his shoulder that decreased. There was just so many other pluses that went along with it. He had emotional issues from a long time ago. He felt kind of shift and change, but that was the impact that it had on him. So it changed from a physical standpoint what he was feeling inside on a physical level. And as far as depression, this is the last story, but there was another person who experienced depression. And she had been to psychiatrists and psychologists, just all these people who specialize in this. And that's not talking about them in a negative kind of way, but I'm just sharing her experience. And she said she had it so deep that it's like they just couldn't touch what she had going on with her. But in the session, when I talked to her, I would talk to her and I would say, you know, why are you depressed? And she couldn't even tell me why she was depressed because she would start crying every time. Every time that question came up, she would just start crying. So a heart wall, you're pretty lucky that we only clear 2 emotions and you're not testing for a heart wall, because sometimes a heart wall can take a few sessions, 3 to 5. And so I worked with her on her heart wall. And so I asked her again on another day, and I said, I think we might have had maybe 2 or 3 sessions. But I said, so what are you depressed about? And she just fell out laughing. She said, what, Grace? And I was just like, oh, that was just really great. And to this day, that was like 2 years ago. And to this day, she's not depressed. And she said she has so many different things going on in her life, and the people around her cannot understand how she's able to cope with just some of the things that she has, some of the drama that's going on in her life right now. And she says, you know, she'll think about it, but she just cannot go there. She can't even get herself to get in that state. And she used to sit in the bed, in the middle of the bed, and just cry all the time. And when things went around, she was just drawn into it, and she's no longer that way. So that's how powerful, you know, releasing your heart wall can be. Okay, so now let's everybody get an opportunity to feel how to go from a stressful state into rest in a few seconds, okay? Okay, so everybody on the call, just kind of think about an area in your body that you feel tension, you can feel stress, you feel tightness, you feel pain, you feel discomfort. Pick one body part, though. You may have several, but pick one. A shoulder, a knee, a neck, your neck, one place, okay? And so this is what I was doing at the beginning of the call. So what I want you to do, I'm going to tell you 2 ways that we normally try to release ourselves from our discomforts that don't work, and then this one way that really does work, okay? So I want you to tune into that area, and I want you to try your best to will it to go away. You're going to make it go away with all of your might. And I'm just only going to give you a few seconds to do it. So right now, tune into that area. All your might, will it to go away. Make it go away. Okay? Most of the time, that doesn't work. Every once in a while, I have somebody say that, oh, well, yeah, I can will stuff to go away. But here's the deal. When you're dealing with long-term stress, that stress is going to creep up again, so it's not permanently gone away. This is something that can take it away and eliminate it, and you don't have to deal with it again. Okay? That doesn't work. Anytime you try to make something happen or force something to happen, you get more resistance. So the next thing I want you to do with that area is ignore it. You're just like, maybe if I ignore it, it will go away and I won't have to deal with it anymore. So just ignore it. I'm going to give you a few seconds. And more than likely, it should probably still be there because that really doesn't work. And even if it did, it's only temporary. So let me show you what does work. We're going to rest for it. And this is going to give you a choice in life on whether or not you want to focus on something and actually think about it or rest for it. So now what I want you to do is get into the mind of letting go and letting God. You just accept it for what it showed up. Oh, well, you know. And so this is what I want you to say. I'm going to use an example. Let me see. Like a shoulder. And so your area is what you'll put in place. So I want you to just say, I'm resting for my shoulder now. And then just take a deep breath in, breathe out. So if it's your neck, you say your neck. If it's your knee, say your knee. If it's your arm, whatever area it is that you're resting for, you put in that blank. So I'm resting for my blank now. And take a breath. Now, if anybody wants to unmute and tell me what you experienced with that, let me know. Anyone? And you unmute by punching in *6. So what most people will report after that is feeling more relaxed, feeling a relief, an unwinding, and a decrease in the area of pain that they're focused on. Just in a few seconds. And you can do it for your muscles, you can do it for your stomach, you can do it for anxiety. So now let's just kind of do a few more of those. The other phrase that you can do is, and this is what I want you all to do now, is just say, I'm resting into my whole body now. And take a breath in and a breath out. And just feel what that feels like. And all you have to do after that is wait 15 to 30 seconds. And in that moment, whatever stress was contributing to that, your body knows exactly what that stress is or was, and it's unwinding it right now. And for me, what I share with my clients is that you can bring in the spiritual element of that too. So just by the power of God, you can rest into that. You can rest for that and say, in Jesus' name, So you say, I'm resting from my shoulder now in Jesus' name. Or whatever, however way you have that relationship. So I want to go through a few of those so that you can actually feel even deeper what that feels like. So just kind of relax. And I just want you to rest. I'm resting for my neck now. Take a breath. I'm resting into my shoulders now. Let's take a breath. I'm resting for all of my stress now. I'm resting for my heart wall and all that it represents now. Let's take a breath. I'm resting for my limitations now. I'm resting for my financial stress now. Take a breath. Breathe in and breathe out. I'm resting for all of my fears now. Take a breath. I'm resting for my emotions now. I'm resting for my tension now. You take a breath. I'm resting for my pain now. Take a breath. I'm resting into my full potential now. Okay. I'm resting for all of my relationships now. Take a breath. I'm resting into peace now. And take a breath. I'm resting into love now. I'm resting into unconditional love now. And take a breath. I'm resting into all the positive possibilities that life has to offer now. And take a breath. Now this is something that that you can do for yourself. It's a toy that you can play. When I repost this replay, if you, I may just do this particular section, or there's actually another posting of something that I have on the on my Facebook page that you can access, so that you can listen to it over and over to be able to utilize it and benefit from it. But just for yourself, it's so easy for me to just share it with you that you can use this for emotions. So if you're feeling sadness, if you're feeling anxiety, if you're feeling depressed, you can use that for your anxiety and your depression. If you're feeling in a particular body, you can do it for that. You can rest for your anxiety, and you can rest for that body part and feel it unwind right there in the moment. Now, as simple as it is, it's very powerful. So powerful that people have been able to heal from different diseases that were they weren't expected to heal from. That's not what it's for. It's for unwinding your stress. So the process one more time is tune into your body. Feel where you're feeling tension or discomfort. Once you feel that tension or discomfort and locate it, rest for it. If you're having difficulty sleeping, you can use it for that as well. And you won't know from the point you started doing it to when you fell asleep. There is no drifting in between. You just fall asleep, automatically. So we rested for our heart wall. Some may need to go farther to actually specify what emotions are actually contributing to your heart wall. So that could probably help you to unwind some of the stress that may be contributing to your heart wall. We have found out how you can go from stress to rest in a few seconds. So you wait 15 to 30 seconds and you'll notice the shift just like that. You found out what a heart wall is and what stress is and how you can move into that. And if you would, I would appreciate it if you would inbox me. Let me know what you experienced with that. If you want to go further, I have a personal peace program that I put together. It's like a year program where we just get rid of trapped emotions, release trauma. Let's see. You test your heart, get rid of your heart wall. There's also something called addictive heart energy, which is something that is like with your heart. When we're just not experiencing love, that we need, when our heart is all out of whack from our heart walls, our body will find a way to receive that love in any kind of way that it can. And so we pick up addictive behaviors that may contribute to, whether it's addiction to certain emotions or attention, or addiction to alcohol or cigarettes, or addiction to food, or whatever it is. That is a huge contributor to it. So that can be released as well. Inherited emotions, preconceived emotions that occur before you're born, we're at conception, releasing trauma, all of those things that prevent us from experiencing the peace that's already there. All of those things, peace, love, joy, happiness, they're already there. It's just a matter of choosing to step into it. Are there any questions? Well, I've enjoyed this telehealing call. And like I said, you can find me on Facebook, Finding Remedies. You can look up Finding Remedies group on Facebook. And like I said, inbox me and send me a message if you would like to find out from me if you have a heart wall and you want to get find out if you have a heart wall that needs to be cleared. You can inbox and we can do that. If you want to find out more about the program, you can call me. You can also do that. If you want to schedule a discovery session with me for the heart wall, you can also go to my website page, which is findingremedies.com. And that concludes our telehealing call. Be on the lookout maybe 2 weeks from now for another one. I'm looking to have these at least once or twice a month. And I appreciate you sharing this moment with me. Have a great and blessed day. Thanks.